Have you ever seen eyewear from the 1930s? True vintage eyewear. And today I'm going to share with you a true vintage piece dating back to the 1930s that we recently had the opportunity to make custom lenses for. Don't go anywhere. Hello and welcome to the Hicks Brunson Eyewear YouTube channel. I am your friendly neighborhood optician, Daniel Brunson, and on this channel I like to talk about custom tinted transitions lenses, my favorite independent eyewear designers, technology and lenses, you name it. If you want to see more like that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below so that you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. All right, today I've got something a little unusual for you. One of my longtime clients who has been around Hollywood in his career and been a part of movies and acting, brought me something really cool. He brought me a vintage, true vintage 1930s American Optical Numont Rimless design. So what is a Numont Rimless? Well, let's talk about it. I've got the frame right here, and this is a Numont Rimless, and you'll notice you have the frame is almost nothing. When you're handling it and feeling it and adjusting it and working on it, it looks almost and feels a little bit like a paper clip. It's very interesting. But what this type of design is that we call Numont Rimless, that's been around for a long time. As I mentioned, this one was actually made in the 1930s by American Optical. It's usually got two drill holes, so it has one here and one here, right near the bridge area, near the nose pads, and then the metal rim is behind the lens. So you kind of have a floating lens in front of the metal rim and just the two drill holes. And the lens is placed between two little prongs, and there's a screw that goes through the prongs, and the lens is kind of pressed up against a structure that kind of flexes a little bit, almost like the shocks on a car. It's like a flexy, kind of bendy, thin metal piece. The lens presses up against that, the screw goes in, and that is what holds the lenses in place. So what you end up with is this incredibly minimalistic, lightweight, comfortable design by American Optical. And so what's interesting is the way I was able to determine that it was American Optical. Well, they were one of the few companies that has been around, that was around back then, that made lots and lots of glasses. So chances are I kind of assumed it might be theirs because they were making so many glasses back then. There actually is engraving on the inside of the temple arms. It was next to impossible to see without the assistance of a high-powered magnifier. So I had to put on a high-powered magnifier called an OptiVisor in order to read the writing, the engraving on the inside of the temple. And so this one is an AO Numont Fullview design. And they called it Fullview because they moved the temples all the way up high to the top of the lens, and the purpose of that was to get them out of your periphery, and that's why they called it full view. Your eyes could look into the far periphery, and your vision wouldn't be obstructed by the temples on the sides of the glasses. And it also had some writing, model number AO1710-12KGP. The 12KGP, I assume, stands for 12 karat gold plating that they would have used in the finishing of this frame. So that's the design. Now we're going to talk about the lenses that we made. We made custom digital single vision lenses, and these lenses, you'll notice some thickness in there. That's because this client has a fair amount of prism, and we used a high index lens to try to mitigate that and keep them as thin and light and good looking as possible. But the nice thing that we did was we added a custom lens tint, and we did a gray-brown fade at a 60% that fades to a lighter brownish color kind of at 30% in the bottom. So it's kind of a gray-brown in the top at 60%, fades to the 30% by the halfway point down. So you have this nice natural color, and you have an anti-reflective coating on the back side, so you don't get those annoying reflections reflecting off of the back side of the lenses. And you have this great vintage frame that's revived with new lenses in prescription with new technology. Can't leave those on for very long because that prism is not for me and is therefore not comfortable for me to wear. But you have beautiful lens technology and a true vintage 1930s American optical frame. The detail work is minimal but beautiful. You see some design teams today. I think I just saw a new release from Goti, which is a Swiss brand that we carry here, where they were showing a new temple design that they had that looked strikingly similar to this feature right here. So I love it when modern day designers pay homage to designs of the past. I mean, you're talking about a frame here that's what, 80 years old at this point. So you've got, you know, nice detail work, and just amazing that a frame can continue on, that can be, you know, from the 1930s and somebody took good care of it and somebody can still enjoy something like this today. And I want to share with you, you know, the Numont design where you have the rimless with just the 2 drill holes and then the wire rim along the back. You don't see that often today. And I was thinking about what examples do we have current designers, and I thought, of course, Leisure Society does things like this, and so I just wanted to share with you the Sierra 2, and this is a Numont design, although it has drill holes at the bridge and also at the temple arm. So this one has 1 extra drill hole than the AO has in each lens, but this is technically a Numont design because the wire rim is behind the lens floats in front of the wire rim. So this is the Sierra 2 with 18 karat gold plating, and you know, Leisure Society does detail work like nobody else when it comes to all of this fine work along the outer edge of the gold plated Japanese block titanium. And the Sierra 2, this is sort of definitely pays homage to that 1920s, 30s kind of Gatsby era designs, although I like that this one has a little bit more of an aviator-ish shape to it. Just, you know, takes the classic Numont, puts the classic aviator together, and you've got a really beautiful look. So that would be an example of a modern day Numont that is currently available now. Using very high-end Japanese block titanium. But that's what I got for you today, the AO rimless from the 1930s, true vintage frame. I just thought it would be fun to share this with you guys because it's not that often we come along something like this frame, something beautiful and vintage and as old as this is, that we get the opportunity to make lenses for. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, hit that subscribe button down below, and I will see you in the next video.